Hey, welcome back to my channel. You're about to watch part 2 of I Think I Was in a Cult. If you haven't watched part 1, please watch that, because this will not make any sense if you don't. It's a weird story. I guess the best way to explain it is I had suspicions that this organization that I was involved in was allegedly a cult, and I was very shocked and very upset to learn that it could actually, oh my god, I don't want to get sued. It is allegedly a cult, and it is crazy how easy it is to get sucked into things like this. Like, oh my goodness. Do you think that I knew what the heck I was getting myself into when I started this? No. And I was very naive back then. It's crazy how a little bit of time and a little bit of brainwashing can get you to commit to something like this, because it becomes your normal. You're surrounded by people who are all living at the place, people who are all members, people who all believe the same things as you, and then that becomes your normal, and you no longer feel like you're welcome in regular society because you feel so different, and you create a home. And like, it did feel like my home away from home to an extent. It is crazy how easy it is to get sucked into things like cults, and I am so grateful that I got out of there and I didn't become a member officially. I was so close to becoming one, and I'm really grateful that my life became better and I felt as though I didn't need these things to make me happy. Yeah, anyway, this is a very serious video, different to my regular content. Usually I'm not so serious. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. Like, I really fucking appreciate it. So I had plans to completely join this new religion, take the vows. One of the vows is to not ingest poison. So I thought I would give up alcohol. And so many people would ask me, why don't you drink alcohol? Why did you stop drinking alcohol? You still like it. Like, why did you stop? I don't get it. And I'll be like, oh, just don't think it's good for me, But I wouldn't say the real reason why I stopped drinking alcohol, and that is because that's what the tradition taught. They make you feel like it's like you're a bad person for doing those drugs, for alcohol. You're just doing it to escape your reality because you have a weak mind. That is something that would stress all the time. You have a weak mind. If you're feeling negative, you have a weak mind. And that's kind of horrible to say, I think. So yeah, the only reason you're drinking alcohol is to escape your problems. And I'm sure that does happen. For sure, people drink alcohol to escape their problems, but that's not always the case. And I wanted to be good enough, so I stopped drinking alcohol. Yeah. And I was like asking myself, why did I stop? Is it because I was taught that it was bad? And one of the rules is, like, one of the things that is taught is to not have physical adornments, not wear jewelry, not make yourself look pretty, because you were just a vessel, You were just a vessel. And they would say that, you're going to die one day and it's not going to matter what you look like or any of that. Just focus on making your mind nice, making your mind positive. And so I never changed my appearance. I never brought myself nice things. And I felt very not confident in myself. And over the past 2 years, since I stopped going to it, I've changed my hair, I've changed my piercings, I've gotten tattoos. I am changing my physical appearance, which is something they don't really advise. And I feel better for it. I do. And it's kind of sad that I had the desire to change my appearance, but I was like, no, desires are bad. And another thing they would teach is that having passion is bad. Yeah, if you're passionate about something, it means you're attached, and you're not allowed to be attached. Yeah, I remember a girl that I was like sort of friends with in this group. She was planning to move into the community, and she was asking me if I knew anyone that would want to take her dogs, because she was going to have to rehome them because, you know, they can't have dogs in the community. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, you love your dogs. Like, that's awful that you have to give them up. Like, that's so sad. And she's like, well, and she sort of rejected that idea a lot. And she was like, well, you know, it's just an attachment to them. And I am going to create so much good karma for myself living here. And I'm helping the world I'm making the world a better place by joining this. Because I'm going to create more good karma and make the world a better place. Like, okay. Alright. I just felt, you know, sad that she was rejecting her attachment to her dogs. Because, you know, attachment isn't always a bad thing, and I had to teach myself that. Yeah. Oh my god, this title, it slowly dawned on me that I had actually been sucked into a cult. This is the same group I was in, guys. My name is Linda, and I am an ex-NKT member. I decided to write my story for the record in the hope that it will help others who have fallen or may have fallen into the trap. It's quite a long account, but hopefully worth reading. As my time in the NKT came to an end, I reflected on the experiences, and it slowly dawned on me that I had actually been sucked into a cult. Guys, I feel sick to my stomach. I had suspected it could allegedly, it's a cult, allegedly suspected that, but I have no proof. And more people online are saying that they feel like it's a cult. As my time in NKT came to an end, I reflected on the experiences, and it slowly dawned on me I had actually been sucked into a cult. At first, it doesn't appear like it, but gradually it comes obvious. Due to the total isolation of the group from all other forms of Buddhism, or any Buddhism for that matter, the biggest obvious clue is that the cult is that they only read and study books from the leader. You won't find any other Buddhist books in the center. I won't refer to him as, she's saying the name, which I'm not going to say the name of the leader. He never completed his Gesh training. Gesh is like a level of, a Gesh is a higher level monk. He never actually completed his Gesh training and had been expelled from his original monastery for actions and not becoming a Buddhist monk. The study is not real study either, because it's just memorizing his text so that you become an NKT clone. Parroting the same sentences in the same NKT style, people often comment how they all sound the same. It's no wonder NKT is like a sausage machine that takes ordinary people with spiritual aspirations and turns them into some type of robot. Was I in a cult? Having been raised as a Catholic and then a Jehovah's Witness, I was suspicious about organized religion generally. Though naively that somehow Buddhism was different from Christianity because it did not require blind faith in the existence of God. They say it's more like a psychology of thought than religion. The first talk I attended was a free public talk. It sounded like an innocuous, useful subject, the art of positive thinking. I have been to that talk, yes. During the persuasive and amusing talk, I felt a sense of coming home, that at last someone was talking sense to me, that happiness could not be found in external conditions, but rather in discovering it within my own mind. Yes, I remember that feeling. So I wanted more. I wanted to find that sunshine hidden within my own mind, behind the dark, miserable clouds that had plagued my mind throughout my life. Oh God, I feel that. I felt like I was in such a dark place. And this was the only thing that made me feel happy, so I kept coming back to it. I attended the general program classes every week and soon began to get involved in organising them and doing publicity work. I naively believed that if only people got to hear the speakers or even my own resident teacher, that they would see the Buddha Dharma as the key to finding their suffering, as I did. It wasn't long before I was enrolled on the Startup Foundation program. Oh my God. I was approached by one of the teachers and they were like, I think you're ready for the foundation program. I think you're ready. Like, they made me feel special. Like, I was good enough for this foundation program, which is the next step. Soon we got rented premises and I moved in. I wanted to move in, but I didn't because I was too young. Luckily for me, we could not afford to buy a centre, otherwise I would have sunk my savings into it and lost them, as had unfortunately happened to many others. However, I did give up my career path to work full-time for the growth of the centre. That had happened to a lot of people, yeah. They give up their career to volunteer for the centre. I'm going to skip to the end of the article because it's kind of like just talking a lot about, I guess, stuff that we've already discussed in other articles. So there's a quote and it says, "The fixed false smiles and the glassy-eyed expressions began to make me feel like I was in a kind of psychiatric hospital with nice grounds." Yeah. I remember walking in and everyone being like so happy. "Hi, how are you?" And it just felt so fake. I read in one of the leaders' books that if you abandon your commitment to the practice, the bad karma accrued would result in countless eons in hell. They did a lot of scare tactics like that. I remember reading it and being like, what? Oh my god. Anyway, so one of the leaders, allegedly in this article, apparently had tantric sex with basically anyone he fancied. Seems he had tried it on with her despite the fact she was actually married. Worse still, it was that Geshe even knew about it. Because the leader was so high up and so special, his actions would not accrue bad karma. Indeed, the women involved should count themselves lucky that having received his blessed white drops, they would get enlightened quicker. What a pile of absolutely repellent hogwash, sexually abusive men masquerading as spiritual teachers, turning sexual exploitation into spiritual practice. What the hell? NKT members are fooled into thinking if they dedicate their hearts and minds and all their energy, time and money to the NKT, the leader, they are getting merit tokens in return to buy their entry to the Pure Land. Oh my god, that resonates with me so much. I thought that if I did this, I would die one day and go to the Pure Land where the Buddhas live. Oh my god, even the BBC is saying it's a cult. Was I in a cult? And my name is Ivy and I am a former member of the New Tradition. Here's my story in case anyone was interested. Oh my god. When is it more than abuse? Experiences within the NKT. The hurt and harm of spiritual abuse is rarely inflicted upon people with intentions to wound anyone. So many recounts of other people's experiences with this group. Christ. I've read a lot of things about cults, and this has been my experience about why I think I allegedly could have been in a cult, or almost joined one. A religious group should never make you feel shame, ever make you feel like the only way you're going to be happy is if you study under their course. And I remember when I started doing this, my dad was like, "Are you joining a cult?" And I'm like, "No." And it's only until afterwards that you think maybe that could have been what that was. I don't know if I'm going to continue recording, but I have not been for a really long time. And the thought of going back makes me quite anxious. Bye!